gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking no L's, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change, yeah. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. I do not gamble, but bet on me. Tell them that's like, yeah, it's still la vie. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot. Cause I'm counting wins all around the clock. Never doubt me, boy, I don't stop. Who do you feel when they make you the monster? I am not scared of none of you imposters. Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while the option. Taking no L's, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. I'm running the game now. Foot on the gas, can slow down, no.
Okay, well, that was fun. Win streak is over. It was going to happen eventually. I'm glad that we were able to reel all 15 straight, right? Some good stuff tonight, some bad stuff tonight. It was a valiant effort, all things considered. You look from a statistical standpoint, and this team, to me, despite not having Dean Wade, despite not having Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, still no Max Strus, they put up a damn good fight. And if anything, to me, it showed that this Boston team is beatable, frankly. They had a massive lead in this game. Boston had a massive lead. And Cleveland, despite being down 4+ rotation members, were able to fight and scratch and claw back into this one. And honestly, that's what I'm taking away. I don't look at this as a game that signals that Boston is still the team to beat in the East. Yes, to be the man, you got to beat the man. That's the old adage, right? But I did not walk away from this loss feeling like Boston is unbeatable. It's one thing to get your ass kicked at full strength at that, right? And it's a whole other thing to finish a close game despite being down all of those guys. In my opinion, this was a good game, right? Cleveland gave everything they could tonight despite some poor performances from a few members on the team. Namely, you guys know who everybody's going to pin this loss on. So I might as well go ahead and speak his name into existence. And that is Darius Garland, who went, I shit you not, 3 of 21 from the field tonight, including 0 of 6 from 3-point distance. Darius Garland would put up just 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 7 assists while turning the ball over twice. Everybody will sit and look at this game and blame it on Garland. And if that's what your takeaway is, have at it. Darius Garland was terrible tonight from an offensive standpoint. If Darius sinks even a few of these, we're probably discussing a win, our 16th straight. But that was not the case. Darius had an off game one night. Phenomenal start to the season that he's had. I refuse to let this one loss undo everything that we have seen from Darius Garland. So, I'll just nip that in the bud right now. For anybody that is going to be talking down on the guy after one poor performance, I can't take you seriously. There were definitely points in this game where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, DG? There was a triple down the stretch in the fourth where I legitimately felt, because Darius had 2 cracks at. You guys know what I'm talking about. Cavaliers were so close. They were so close. And he had 2 cracks at a triple, corner 3. Did not drop. Bounced off the rim. Just was not his night. Absolutely not his night. That combined with Boston doing what they do all too well, shooting the 3 ball. What did I say on the last stream, guys? What did I say? If you did not defend the 3-point line, it's not going to bode well. Honestly, many of these triples that they attempted, there were some wide open ones. When the numbers come out, I'll post them, right? But there was some really good shot making tonight on Boston's end too. Some that just left you feeling like, what the fuck? Like, what else can you do? What else can you do? Tatum had a few of those where I'm like, oh, okay. It's just a Tatum game. It's one of those. It is literally one of those games in which it doesn't matter sometimes how well you are defending your opposition. Sometimes they just beat you. Good defense, better offense, and then not having the wings that are typically there to provide you that stellar perimeter defense and Dean and Isaac, that hurts. That hurts tremendously. So this one always had the huge potential to turn into an L, but I am very, very proud of the effort that this Cavaliers team put in tonight and trying to fight and scratch and claw their way back. As frustrating as this game was at times, I mean, the refs, I mean, the foul calls that were missed on Cleveland's end, and that jump ball in the fourth quarter down the stretch in which they they literally wanted to call a jump ball. And I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at, ref? The Tatum push off I think it was to end the third quarter. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you? Well, you guys did not see it. You didn't call it at all. But it is what it is. They're at home in Boston, TD Garden, whatever, what have you. They got a friendly whistle. Cavaliers, much like they have all season long, did not get one. But man, I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. It was still a good effort, still a good fight from this Cavaliers team. Donovan Mitchell did everything that he could. 35 points, 8 rebounds, was 13 of 29 from the field. There are points in which people will complain about hero ball and things of that nature. And some of it is justified. I think that we could have gotten a better shot out of certain possessions. I think we could have moved the ball a little bit better than we did on certain possessions. It looked highly uncharacteristic of what we have seen out of them. But Mitchell took it was always going to be a gargantuan effort needed from not just Don, but both of your front court mates in Darius and Donovan to come away with this one victorious. And that's not what happened. Darius was just a no-show tonight. So it hurts, but I'm not going to use this game, this performance to shit on them, and because it is one game out of a 16-game sample size where Darius has been mostly phenomenal, turning back into all-star form. There were other good performances. I thought Craig Porter Jr. was pretty damn good in his minutes tonight. This is coming off, I think he played 21 in his prior game, but with all of all your major rotation pieces off the bench not in, Craig played a big 25 minutes tonight, got 15 points, hit 3 triples. 3, and I think all 3 of them may have been step backs, or at least 2 of them were. I know that much. But I'll tell you this, Craig Porter Jr. knocking down that type of shot, something that we all know he needed to work on. That was probably the biggest flaw in his game. Hitting that type of shot on a stage like this says a lot about his development, says a lot about his growth, and he should feel good about the individual game that he had tonight. I thought Ty Jerome, he made a serious case to steal a good deal of Darius Garland's minutes tonight, honestly. And I think it was justifiable. There were certain possessions in which Ty had the juice and DG did not. So it was definitely one of those games for Ty that we have become accustomed to seeing, where he can swing momentum of a game. So I was happy with his performance. Sam Merrill drew the start tonight. We can't not talk about that in place of Dean, in place of Max, in place of Isaac. I was really wondering who they would go to off the Cavalier bench into that starting unit. And I was not expecting Merrill, but I understood why you might want to go that route. This is the man that can provide the Cavaliers with a ton of floor spacing, but he would play just 19 minutes tonight. And it is very easy at points to, especially against a Boston Celtics team who is just so lanky and has a lot of size in that starting unit. It is hard to hide Sam defensively. So I was always wondering how they would choose to address that. But Merrill was the route that they took, given some of the other options. I mean, it was either, it was the two-way guys. It was Tyson. Personally, I was thinking that Tyson was going to get some minutes tonight. That did not happen. I would have been happy seeing JT Thor or maybe Travers, but it was always going to be a toss-up. And obviously going to Merrill, you have a guy there that gives you the most experience. If you are not going to turn to Ty Jerome, which I thought was probably the best idea to have him stay off out of the starting lineup, considering that you are missing that spark plug that Karis LeVert typically brings. So you needed somebody to give you some juice off the bench. So I thought that keeping Ty there was probably the best of a crazy bunch of guys you could have chose from. Dr. Claw 77 says, and when he finally got those 2 attempts, 2 straight threes. Yeah, I don't think that Sam Merrill was the wrong choice. I think you looked at what you had available to you, and that was the best decision that you could possibly make. You're always going to be at a slight, probably not even a slight, you're always going to be at a huge disadvantage from a defensive standpoint. But it is what it is. You're not really counting on Sam to go out there and play the role that Wade or Okoro does typically on the defensive end. So Sam made a lot of sense there. Dr. Claw also goes on to say Sam wasn't bad in his role tonight. Was very frustrated that he not even have 1 field goal attempt until the second half. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to rewatch this game. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna have to rewatch a lot of this game and look at some of the attempts that were generated out there, because I feel like the Cavaliers got the attempts. I don't think that a lot of the attempts that they generated against this Celtics team were unmakeable. We just did not drop them. The Cavaliers is a team which shoot 10 of 29 from the field. That's 34% for you math buffs out there. And again, when you don't have a couple of your better shooters this season, yeah, Wade and Okoro, they are certainly guys that you can count on this season to make some triples. LeVert has been one of the Cavaliers' best 3-point shooters this season. That was always going to be rough. And I know that we were getting run off the line at various points, but I did not necessarily feel as if some of the attempts, especially in the first half that were generated, were unmakeable. I really, really thought that they had some good looks, especially in that first half. They did not knock them down. But it's tough. It is very, very tough to watch a team like Boston just drill a ton of threes. They averaged 51 plus on the season, right? We already knew that was going to be the big storyline of this game. One of the worst things that Cleveland does and on the defensive end, and this has been a phenomenal start to the season, but it's not sacrilege to point out that the Cavaliers struggle at defending the 3-point line. They allow teams to shoot the 3rd best percentage from the 3-point line. And whether they're making the shots off of stellar defense or not, it is something that Cleveland has routinely struggled with. You saw it against Charlotte, you saw it against Chicago, and no doubt you're going to see it against Boston, who attempts the most triples in the league by far. Again, they shot 54% from range tonight, and it often felt like there was nothing that you could do off of some of their attempts, but there were definitely some wide open attempts that Cleveland failed to close out on or rotate. I thought there were some solid points in this game, though. As I said, Evan Mobley, especially in that third quarter, was eating. He was getting a ton of mismatches inside. And that's one area where I felt that Cleveland had a decisive and clear advantage with Mobley and Allen. I really, really felt that Boston allowed them the inside game, and Mobley did take advantage of that off some clear mismatches. You saw him down there against Peyton Pritchard at times. You saw him down there against some smaller players out there, right? He had a clear size advantage, and he did take advantage of that in that third quarter. It's a big reason why Evan ended up with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, and was pretty efficient on 8 of 13 from the field. Did knock down a triple tonight, and you got to give him that too. But yeah, I thought that they gave them the inside game, and I'll tell you this: the singular most frustrating thing I think for me tonight for Darius was the rejections at the rim by Al Horford. It felt like DG was getting rejected time and time again at the rim. Shot that scoop layup that he has that has worked on so many occasions this season already. Hell, we saw him do this to Nikola Vuce a couple of games ago against Chicago, in which he broke him down defensively, right, in isolation, and he drove in and hit that scoop shot. And man, it did not work tonight at all. He got rejected at the rim constantly. Again, just 3 of 21 from the field. I'm going to have to look back from a statistical standpoint, and I cannot wait to post the matchup data for this game for who defended DG and how that looked. But the Horford rejections at the rim, oh, it hurt. It was nasty. It was tough to watch. I hated it. Honestly, that's really all I can say. It is really all I can say in regards to this game. There really wasn't much to take away given who was not out there. I did come away from this one feeling like Boston is very, very beatable. Again, they're not at full strength. They still have yet to play Kristaps Porzingis, but considering who Cleveland missed tonight and how they were able to scratch and claw their way back despite a hellacious shooting night from Boston, I still believe that the Cavaliers win round 2 on December 3rd. I think that will happen, assuming that a number of these guys return. Crofty says 81-1, Mac. Yeah, the goal has not changed. As crappy as this loss was to watch play out at points, the Cavaliers can still break the record for most wins in a regular season, right? At 15-1, you still have a couple of games worth of buffer to get you past the Golden State Warriors record of 73-9. It's still there. It's still there for the taking, and as gut-wrenching as it was to see the streak. And I honestly believe that it does take a layer of pressure off of this team. You guys can let me know in the comments, but I always think that there's an added level of expectation and pressure once you get on one of these hot streaks, one of these win streaks, that it further adds pressure to what your team is trying to accomplish. And sometimes taking that first L, you have heard numerous teams say that, hey, man, once that first loss came, that we really got running. We really got off to a phenomenal start. And maybe that's what happens here. But all in all, I was very, very moved by the second half performance from the Cavaliers. I believe they put up 40 points to Boston's 28 in that third. That was a phenomenal watch. Cavaliers actually outscored Boston in the second half completely, 59-45. So they fought back. They scratched and clawed back. So I was very, very impressed considering the circumstances. Crofty says, I think they'll start to play a lot more loose and free now that they're not under so much pressure. I completely agree with you, Crofty. Edward Zupin says, it's a good L if there is one Kenny changed the system second half. Yeah, I mean, Kenny has pulled almost the correct lever each time that he, each one of these games. It has felt like Kenny Atkinson has not missed. And it's honestly hard for me to fault Kenny for this loss, considering the players that were available. This was the first game in which Kenny elected to go with an 8-man rotation. I'm not sure if that's lost on you guys. I'm not sure if you saw that, but we essentially played an 8-man rotation tonight. It was Darius, Donovan, Merrill, Evan, Allen, Niang, Jerome, and Porter. Shortest rotation that we have seen this season. And honestly, can you blame them? You had nobody available that you probably trusted if you're Kenny Atkinson just yet. Sure, you got Tristan Thompson, JT Thor, Jalen Tyson, Luke Travers, but all of these guys are unproven. And so in a game against a contender like Boston, this is probably going to be more so of the norm. But yeah, shortest rotation that we've seen from Kenny yet. Jackson says, we have even 2 of vert or ice, we win this game. I believe you, right? Hell, if DG makes 3 or 4 more shots and not shoot 3 of 21 from the field, we probably win this game. Cedric Taylor says, I wish we would have gotten more Merrill in the second half. DG just didn't have it. If there's one thing that one lever that I feel that Kenny did not pull, it was making the adjustment to give Sam or Ty more minutes at certain points throughout the game when it was clear that Darius just did not have it. Elliot Clausen says Kenny will get coach of the year, but his staff seems really good too. Couldn't stand fucking Luke Walton. I think that it is only a matter of time. It may take a season or two, depending upon how long this coaching staff is together. I think Kenny is obviously the man for the foreseeable future, but it may only take a matter of time before some of these guys get poached off for head coaching positions of their own. And I think that's justifiable. Tom K says CPJ 3-point shot, though. I mean, what have we been saying the past, all off season long? And honestly, after watching last season, it was that Craig Porter Jr., the biggest area of improvement for him was the triple, right? Most notably the pull up, the triple period. But honestly, we saw him work on this during summer league games and it was ugly at times, but I was glad that he at least had the audacity to take them then and to take them tonight and to have no fear in doing so, considering the situation and the context and how big this game was. Took some balls. I mean, it really did. And for him to go 3 of 3 from 3-point distance, hitting some step backs, might I add, it was beautiful to watch that. And so Craig, despite not being a normal rotation piece, has proven time and time again that when given minutes, he can produce. The problem is finding him minutes in such a stacked backcourt normally. So it is good to know that you have that depth there. Crofty says lots of what ifs in this game. What if we had Wade, Okoro, LeVert? What if DG had hit 2 more shots? What if the refs called that flagrant on Tatum fucking push off on Niang? I just know we're going to see that. We're going to see that shit on repeat constantly because Niang sold it a little bit. He embellished a little bit, but it was still a push off nonetheless. And Tatum does it so frequently that it just pisses you off to no end. And that's exactly what happened. Jackson says Craig and Niang played out. Mobley seems to play the Celtics well too, which is huge. Yes. Mobley, if you guys remember, had the huge performance against Boston in the playoffs last season where he was the de facto number 1 option and he balled out, right? 30 plus points. Tonight, still very, very impactful, especially in that third quarter. Like I mentioned, taking advantage of mismatches down in the paint and low post. So that was a positive takeaway, I suppose. Edward Zupin says, and that's when Allen was in the game. He got owned. Miles Westmoreland says Mobley showed a lot of potential as to what's to come. I think so. Definitely a lot of development is still on the horizon for him, but I've already seen a lot from Mobley this season that points to the upward trajectory of his game. And I think that's only going to continue. Let's see here. Andrew Harick says Cavs in 6. Yeah, this is a playoff series and the Cavaliers were healthy. To me, I think the Cavaliers have what it takes to beat this Boston team. Again, I did not walk away from this game at all feeling like Boston is the better team or that they're unbeatable. And you do have to pay them respect as the reigning champions that they are. But last season's last season. Cleveland very clearly could have won this game had a couple of things changed. As Crofty said, a lot of what ifs in this one, but best not to harp on it too much. We got a game tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, against the New Orleans Pelicans, hoping that the Cavaliers can get that winning taste back in their mouth after taking the first L tonight. But time will tell. Real Talk Tone says, we still number 1, but Kenny should have let CPJ close over DG. That's the first bad decision I've seen him make this season. I think that based upon what Darius has shown you this season and being how clutch he has been, 32 clutch points, 12 of 15 in clutch time situations, 3 of 5 from 3-point distance included in that. I think that he wanted to see, based upon the game that he had, if Darius could change that, right? Did not happen. Again, I think I already referenced earlier on in the stream that Darius had 2 cracks at a triple in the corner that would have tied the game, if I'm not mistaken. Did not fall. It was not his night. And so if we want to blame Kenny for leaving DG out there and giving Craig or Sam or keeping Craig or Sam on the bench, I understand that, but I'm not going to bitch at him too much about it, I suppose. Crofty says, beat the Pels tomorrow. Absolutely think that will happen. Svenrik says, the thing is, Kenny has confidence in DG, so I don't mind it. And you absolutely should after the start to the season that he's had. He's been phenomenal. I think he turns it around tomorrow. He appeared to be in his head. A lot of people are going to use this performance and say that DG will not show up in big games and they won't believe all this regular season production that we've seen out of him. And, we got to wait until the playoffs to really be able to trust Darius. But frankly, I don't buy into that. I just don't. Bad games happen. Shori B3 says, I'm a Packers fan and Cavs fan, and the way the game was going, I thought we would win the game, even though we played pretty badly, just like the Packers. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they outscored Boston in the second half, 59 to 55. But it was not to be. Oh, 69. I'm sorry. 69. Damn, I'm terrible at math. 69 to 55 in the second half. And they just weren't able to get those last couple of shots, right? It just did not happen. Jay Quest says, I hope we see a lot of bench tomorrow. Kenny Prob went 8 guys because of the streak pressure, so the loss might be liberating, to be honest. Honestly, I just think that he saw the team that he was facing and played the players they thought was going to give them the best opportunity to win. JT Thor, Jalen Tyson, Luke Travers, Tristan Thompson are the guys who suited up tonight that did not play. And honestly, I'm not sure any of them would have made a difference. I don't know. But now that the streak is over, maybe you start to use those guys a little bit more and see what they have. Time will tell, though. I think that's probably a good place to leave it. I got to hop over to the chase down with Carter in just a minute. But man, while I'm sad that this performance did not result in a W, I still took some positives away from this game, and it did not change my belief that this Cavaliers team is still a bona fide championship contender, and I hope you feel the same way. That said, like I always tell you, if you'd like to reach out, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you'd like to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you an invite. If you're watching over on X, do your boy a favor and hit the like button over on YouTube. You don't know how much you're helping a brother out when you do that. If you're not yet subscribed and you're watching on either one, head to YouTube right now. Hit that subscribe button. Your boy goes live every single night. I can no longer say that I go live after every W, but who cares? It's been a great season. We'll see. Go Cavs.